not done anything that other people from other zones have not done. We know about Sunday Igboho, of the Yoruba nation agitator. We know of the Boko Haram people that say they want a different country where Western education is an abomination. These people have been released. Not just that they have been released. In the case of Boko Haram, they've been re-assimilated to the society, given plum jobs, even in our military. They've been given money and been resuscitated, reconciled, and rehabilitated. Why is Nnamdi Kanu's case different? There is an ethnic and some unnecessary bias that is keeping that man in jail. The government should be wise enough to release this man. You can use the Julian Assange option. If you don't want to say you are losing face, you can release him conditionally. You can release him unconditionally. As a lawyer, I've watched the legal issues very clearly. And I saw that even in the courts, from the High Court to the Supreme Court, there are discordant tones amongst them. Even in the issue of bail, some of the tier of the courts are granted him bail. Even in the issue of the charges, some tier of the court had quashed all the charges. So you can see that the government has a lot of places it can stand to release the young man and bring peace to the southeast.
Seriously, first of all, welcome guys again to my channel. Thank you for stopping by on this channel. But here welcome to Okonkwo said that Nnamdi Kanu have done what mostly other persons have done, but those persons have been released from prison and they are working freely on the streets. Why is Nnamdi Kanu still in detention? Because it's very simple. Because he's an Igbo, and we all know how Igbos are always being discriminated in this country called Nigeria, and yet they are calling for one Nigeria, which I don't think is possible. Like they said, one Nigeria can never be possible. The only way to work, that the country will work, is if we divide. But the way issue now is that the same person that have done what Nnamdi Kanu did are free, but Nnamdi Kanu is not free. But not to talk long on this, I would like you guys to continue with what Okonkwo said about this same issue. I'll bring to you guys shortly.
He is now more like a political prisoner. I tell you something. The longer Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, the taller he becomes.
Renewed hope. So, according to renewed hope.
So no need for you that you're from another party.
So what I'm saying
to come
is
and
that
carry that agenda. So
on the day that the president appointed the FCT minister, that was when I knew he was going to deal ruthlessly with South. Both in appointment, both in everything. You know, you could imagine what Wike would have been saying to this government if he was not part of this government.
But he's not the only opposition.
And all these
Where
things.
Are the rest?
The reason, again, that they appointed him is to emasculate the PDP. PDP is now the servant of servant. Because when you are a minister in a government...
Welcome to my channel. If you enjoy the content, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more updates. Your support helps me create more exciting content like this. Here we give you the best entertainment, news, sports, name it. Thanks. I'll be back. Let's dive right in.
Kenneth Okonkwo is a lawyer and a member of the Labour Party. Welcome to Political Paradigm, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting us.
I don't know, introducing Mr. Okonkwo as a member of the Labour Party is a difficult one, because it would seem that at the time we all saw the public statement and you walking away from the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi on the issues of leadership. Perhaps you clarify that, then we'll move on to other issues so that I know how to address you going forward.
That has been clarified before now. You didn't see it anywhere. You heard it from the rumor mill. So I am a member of Labour Party, but I'm not a spokesperson for Peter Obi.
Okay.
And indeed, the election is over. We spoke for 2023 election, and that had been concluded.
Great.
So it's really actually, nothing to...
Yeah, that's not why we're here, so let's not dig into that. I just wanted to know how to address you going forward.
No, a lawyer, economist,
fair enough. Let's go into the business of the day, which is the cabinet reshuffle. Now, I'd like to get your thoughts, both of you, on the cabinet reshuffle. It was very much anticipated, even though it was unprecedented. What we had heard that the president was going to reshuffle his cabinet. Now it's been done. I know it's been a week, but the conversation has been sustained, and that's because of some of the appointments and the concerns raised from the appointments of the president. So let's hear your thoughts on this cabinet reshuffle, Mr. Okonkwo.
Well, you know, I do not know why this government continually miss opportunity to even rewrite some of its FIDE. Now, the whole issue of reshufflement is an admission that your cabinet is not going the way you thought they would go. And then it's also an opportunity for you to redress a lot of things that are very wrong with your administration. You came in and people were crying. The cost of governance is quite high. Then you sacked 5 ministers and you chose 7. How does that address the issue of cost of governance? Now, let's go to the nitty-gritty of the ministers that he chose. There are about 48 ministers in this cabinet, and there are about 32 substantive ministers, 16 ministers of state. For the avoidance of doubt, ministers of state, they are not recognized by the Constitution. They are contraption by the president. By section 147, subsection 1, it is clear the president should appoint ministers of the government of the federation. And by section 147, subsection 3, it said that appointment must accord with section 14.3 of the Constitution, which is the federal character principle, which states that the composition of every government and the conduct of its affairs must reflect the federal character. In order to command national unity, national loyalty, and ensure that there is no preponderance of persons from a particular ethnic group, from a particular section on the government. Now, this government has 8 substantive ministers from Southwest. That's about 25% of the 32 ministers in Nigeria. In South-South, 6 states with the Southwest, they have only 3 substantive ministers. That is about 9% of the substantive ministers. In the Southeast, they have 2. That's about 6% of the substantive ministers. So out of the 32, you see how Ogun State alone has more substantive ministers than the entire Southeast. And then equal ministers from the South-South. And I can name them if you want. Minister of Power, Industry, Interior, Finance, Communication, Education, Marine Resources, Solid Mineral. From Southwest. And they're talking about 2. Southeast, Works, Science. 3, South-South. We're talking about
Southeast.
2 substantive ministers.
Okay, substantive. You're
Substantive.
specific.
There is nothing like ministers of state. That's a contraption of the president. That is why Festus Keyamo said it at the FEC meeting that it's illegal. However, it is not illegal because they are ministers of state. It is illegal because the president is using it to say he has given a state a substantive ministry, which is illegal. Because every state is equal by the federal character principle. That's the whole idea of it. So every state is entitled to a substantive minister. He said at least 1 minister. And I'm talking about section 147, subsection 3 of the Constitution. So what I'm saying is that in the South-South, you have the FCT, Aviation, and Regional Development ministers. Substantive. So this government has continued in the line of governing this country with preponderance of people from the Southwest, his own geopolitical zone, portraying him as ethnic bigot, portraying him as a man incapable of uniting Nigeria and giving people a sense of belonging. The danger is that his government will never get the loyalty that it needs to govern.
Seriously, government should please, this is a plea from the whole Igbos and some even use Yorubas, that government should release Nnamdi Kanu for peace to reign in Nigeria. Because without Nnamdi Kanu being released, I don't think there's anything called peace in Nigeria, because people are angry. The more Nnamdi Kanu is there, the more we're having more agitators coming out. Because Nnamdi Kanu needs to be released the same way other persons were released. Because you have some persons that are going for urban nation that are not arrested. Some persons going for outside nation that are not arrested. Some persons going for this and that. Then why is Nnamdi Kanu different? Because there's an Igbo. They've done us a lot of discrimination in Nigeria. It's too much. Like, it's too much. And I think that everyone needs to wake up and fight this fight of releasing Nnamdi Kanu. But the issue is that people meant to be fighting it are not fighting it. Our Southeast governors are not fighting, because most of them are involved in the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, and that's why I think they are not even fighting and pressuring for Kanu released. Because how can a governor be trying to cancel a statute that was put for a purpose? So the government will release Nnamdi Kanu, but someone that called himself a governor of a state in Southeast is trying to remove the statute, putting threats on the masses that they must come out and open their shop, or else their shop will be closed down. Could you imagine that? I like that everybody video watched in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in a minute.